Welcome to Flow Tricks. It's Ken. I am back. It's good to be back. It's good to see everyone. Wanted to talk really quick before I taught today's lesson. I wanted to talk about Flow Tricks. We are going to be looking for a couple of new instructors. So if you've been working for years, you got the skills, you got good teaching skills, a little bit of charisma, and you're excited to teach, send me an email. KenHillFire, KenHillFire @gmail.com. I am looking for a couple instructors to help me because I'm doing too much right now. So as a circus performer and a projection mapping artist and the owner of a business and a performer for Quixotic and a YouTuber and a dad and my real life, it's just gotten extremely busy. So I want to bring on a team. I think it's time to expand Flow Tricks anyways. Let's get more people involved in teaching. I'm not leaving. I just want to make sure if I'm busy that we have people that can help pick up the slack, and I'll be back when I come back. With that said, I'm doing shows until every week. I'm doing shows until the end of November, or the end of October, I'm sorry, which is fantastic, but it does make it a little bit harder to teach. Let's go ahead though. I just wanted to get that out of the way first. So if you do know someone or if you would love to be a part of the Flow Tricks team and you have a lot of experience in the nunchucks and you feel like you're a bit of a sensei, send me an email. Again, it is kenhillfire@gmail.com. All right, so today I wanted to go over some doubles. You may or may not know this. You should probably know the crank position, which is basically where two chucks are moving at the same time, or the same direction, but they're moving in split time, which means they meet in the center. So if you look at my chest, you can see these chucks are moving as this one's going up, this one's going down, and they meet in the center of my chest, right? This is called the crank. And if you look from the side, one hand is in front of the other, obviously, because if they're in the same space, they would hit each other every time they met. So my right hand's in front of my left like this. And what we're gonna work on today is just some simple doubles patterns that go off bounces. To begin with, if we only used one chuck, you've seen these table bounces. We're gonna kind of work off that, but with two. Now, you do wanna make sure that if you have a heavy chuck, you wanna be extra careful on this one because you can bang your elbows pretty good if you don't have it down. So what you're gonna do first is the table bounces, when I'm spinning the chucks like this, I'm going to kind of cross my arms and it's gonna end like this. So as you can see, my arms shoot forward. It's almost like a perfect 90-degree angle this way to this way. So 90-degree angle like this. And what this does is this allows me to create a platform on both triceps simultaneously where I can bounce them at the same time. So if I'm in crank like this, as you can see, my right hand's gonna kind of swoop up and the left hand, they kind of follow the circle. So as the chucks pass each other, the moment one goes up and one goes down, so as you see my left hand, the chuck is pointed upwards and my right hand, it's pointed downwards, I'm gonna kind of follow it. As I follow it, I'm gonna kind of sink my arms in so it becomes that 90-degree angle, and then I'm gonna pull them together. So it almost looks like I'm here, and then it looks like this. From this side, it's like right hand's forward, left hand's back. As it comes across, so I'm following the circle, my arms bend and they bounce off the tricep. The end result looks like this, whoosh. And what's gonna happen is your crank is gonna go in opposite position. It's gonna go in opposite direction. So now it's meeting in the center, but it's in the opposite side. Again, the big thing that most people mess up on with this one is not sticking their elbows out enough. So if you really need to practice, start here and then think fold. And it's almost like my shoulders are pushing forward like this. If you have to think of it like that, that really helps extend it if you kind of push your shoulders forward. You can even bend forward to start with if it helps. Eventually you're gonna wanna straighten it out so it doesn't look bad, because otherwise, that doesn't look nearly as good as just being able to bounce it straight through. But it does help, especially when you're first starting out. So here, you're gonna bounce it, and then what you're gonna do is the moment they bounce off both sides, you're gonna reverse direction. And once you reverse direction, see if you can get it into the reverse crank. And then from there, they're gonna go in opposite directions. So the moment they pass by each other, now my right's going up and my left's going down. And when I say to pull it out, to go up and down, it's really more side to side than up and down. It's just you're just kind of following the circle. So like here, for instance, it's just kind of following the circle. So it's just like you're extending. It's kind of like an extension, except for it's not a full arm extension. It's more like straight from the elbows. And we're gonna do it in reverse like this, and we should return back to normal. So this is your pattern. Whoosh, 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 whoosh. And then what you can do once you get comfortable with it is bounce it back and forth with one beat in the middle, two beats in the middle, and no beats in the middle. So the first time you'll go 1, 2, bounce, 1, 2, bounce, 1, 2, bounce, 1, 2, bounce. Then you do one beat. 1 bounce, 1 bounce, 1 bounce, 1 bounce. Then you do no bounces. It will be bounce, 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 bounce. And you can just kind of alternate between these two. So as you can see, I'm going from 2 to 1, oops, to none. So that is technique number 1. Now, this is just one table bounce, keep in mind. Let's go back here. Work on that for a while, and then we're gonna go to the next one here. So work on that, don't just jump into this next one, because this next one is a little bit more tricky. The next one's gonna look like this. Whoosh, 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 and out. So it's gonna be 4 bounces happening simultaneously with your chucks, and here's how it looks. We're doing the exact same bounce as before, but instead of using it to reverse directions and opening our arms, we keep our arms closed for a second. So step 1 is here, keeping the arms closed. Step 2, the left arm bounces down, and you should be kind of comfortable. It's gonna look like this. It's kind of like this bounce. So if the nunchuck is going this way, it's gonna go bounce, bounce, right? And the top one's gonna go bounce, bounce at the same time. So it's basically, as long as you keep your arms folded in, it can only go one direction, right? Like if my arms are folded in, there's only one place it can go, which is the opposite way. And if my arm is folded in with this one, there's only one way it can go, which is the other tricep. So you do it together and it will go 1, 2. You can do it that way too. So you can go 1, 2, and then rotate. Now what you'll notice is 2 bounces keeps it in the same position. Even numbered bounces will keep it in the same direction. So odd number bounces will change it. So if we go 1, it changes direction. If we go 2 times, it stays in the same direction because it reversed itself twice. So it'll be reverse, reverse, which is the exact same direction again. Reverse, reverse, same direction. So if we bounce it once, we're here, reverse, reverse, now in the same direction again. Reverse 1 time, it reverses it, reverse 2 times, and it standardizes it. So remember, evens and odds is a big deal. So you can practice now with 1s and 2s. So now we can go 1 bounce or 2 bounces is what I'm saying, with different beats in the center. So we can go, okay, we're gonna do 1 bounce to start with, just so you can kind of understand. 1, 2, 3, bounce, 1, 2, bounce, 1, bounce, bounce. And then we'll do 2 bounces, bounce, 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 and you'll notice, again, that it just keeps the same direction. So again, 1, 2, over, or the opposite way. You can choose any 2 bounce points, to be honest. Like, if you notice from there, instead of going across to the other side, so look at my right hand, instead of bouncing from the other side up here, if I want, I can actually go on the same arm too. So the same pattern can go same arm, opposite arm. So I'm just starting in the reverse pattern. Instead of starting here, I'm hitting the same arm. Again, instead of opposite, we go to the same. If you go to the same, it's gonna be the same thing except for they're in reverse position. But since it bounces twice, it's the same thing. So now you can think, do I wanna hit the opposite arm or do I wanna hit the same arm? Well, let's see here. Opposite arm is like this, same arm is like this, and they don't change direction because it's still 2 bounces, which is pretty wild. And then what happens after this, now you notice that there's gonna be a 3rd one, and the 3rd one is where you kind of have to open your arms up for a second. So it's gonna be, we're gonna start with the opposite arm bounce first. So opposite, same. Now from here, the arms are gonna open and it's gonna do 1 quick beat in the center to get that new bounce. So that's 3 bounces. Boom, boom, boom. Doesn't matter where it comes from, you just remember 3 bounces and you're just kind of following the pattern. So I'm gonna start back here again, opposite. So this is the 2 bounce pattern, right? 1, 2, and then from here they're gonna pass by each other for the 3rd one, and you're gonna open it up and then they're gonna switch directions. So again, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You can add beats in it if you want to. 1, 2, 3. I mean, there's all different kinds of cool stuff you can do with that. And 3 will reverse directions again. So if I'm going in counterclockwise, 1, 2, 3, now we're in clockwise, which is really neat. 1, 2, oh shoot, really? 1, 2, 3. So this must be my weak. So you'll always find your little weakness. You could be doing this for like 15 years and still forget to do a bounce style. And I guess for me, it's doing 3 bounces clockwise. Last but not least, we have 4 bounces. I'm not gonna edit that out either. Like, that's human. It's human to drop, y'all. Even if you've done it for 100 years. Because honestly, nunchucks, you can do, like, there's gazillions, millions of different combinations, and you gotta train your muscle memory. 4 is finishing the pattern. So again, we're gonna go opposite arm, same arm, opposite arm. And that's the 4 bounces. If you ever get stuck, just do it with one hand to start with. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The other hand, obviously, is gonna start 1, 2, 3, 4. See? 1, 2, 3, 4. And then together, they work together. 1, I can't keep it up because, you know, gravity. 1, 2, wait. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's actually a lot harder to do it slowly than it is just to go into that thing. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4, and now you have a 4 bounce pattern. I got one more to show you just because it's been a while, so I figured let's just have some fun with double bounces. The last pattern I'm going to show you is to use a double bounce as a way to turn. So we're going the same direction. As I hit this bounce, it's going to change direction, and as I pull this direction here, as I what you can do is, like, the moment you feel the bounce, you can kind of pull outward, and it just kind of gives like a boosh, like it gives it more of a popping feeling, right? Doesn't matter which direction you go, as long as you're hitting it and your elbows just kind of go outward. The moment you feel that, it'll start to make you want to turn. From there, what's going to happen is we're gonna go back and we're gonna cross our arms, but we're gonna move to the side. So if I'm here, cross it to the side, and it becomes a reverse 3-beat. If I go here and I cross it to the side, it becomes a reverse 3-beat to this side. So it looks like I'm moving 90 degrees, but what I'm really doing is I'm just doing the reverse 3-beat just for a moment, just enough to turn the opposite way. So it'll be boom, reverse 3-beat, and what'll happen is, as you can see, is it winds me back up. I'm gonna start with my back towards the camera so you can see how it works. Boom, let's try it. Boom, reverse 3-beat. And then the moment I move to the side, I almost turn into a crank position on the other side. So again, boom, reverse 3-beat. And then we're pulling into crank, but what I'm doing from here is not really letting it sit in crank very long at all. Instead, I'm widening my arms and doing the bounce again. Can you do one with a regular 3-beat? Yeah, obviously you can. All you have to do is change your direction, and then it becomes a regular 3-beat. So don't think just because you see this is a regular 3-beat. The most important thing is do a 3-beat of some kind, either front or back. You'll know which direction as soon as you turn. And then the moment you do it, just for a second, just to cross your arms so you can make that turn. And then when they uncross and cross again, it becomes another bounce. So with that said, it looks like this. Boom, 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 boom. Boom. And then you can add all the other little frills with it too, because you can go like bounce, 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 bounce. You can add little extra things that you want to do. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. You see what I'm saying? So you can play with all of the combinations we worked on before. So hope this helps. Hope you enjoyed this video. Want to give a quick shout out again. It's Dark Monk, and they make all my training chucks. And Flow Toys, they make all my LED chucks. They are beautiful companies, been with them for years. Check them out. A lot of people have been asking me questions, what chucks I use. Those are the chucks I use. All right, y'all take care, send a message if you like. It's great to be back. Hope you all are doing well.